Welcome, everybody. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at verifiedinvesting.com. What I would like to do is go over 5 commodities that I have on my watch list. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. The first one I'm going to talk about is the chart of gold. So I'm using MGC1. So this is the micro gold futures. What we have here is price got a nice bid off this low at around $4,000. Now we're pushing higher. What's interesting to me about the chart of gold, or this MGC1, is this downsloping trend line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these 2 pivot tops right here. So it's going to bust through this level and then tag this level. This gives us an idea of where this trend on gold currently is sitting. So the more oftentimes a resistance level is hit on gold, the more likely it is to break to the upside. Now, with that said, if it fails to break out, then we could see more downside in micro gold futures. So my first level of support is going to be this low pivot point right here at $4,648. And then if it doesn't hold that level, you're coming down to your next stop. And that's going to be this high red bar candle right here. Now that price is above that level as resistance, now when it comes back into it, it's going to be support. So this would be a short-term buy level for the chart of MGC1, knowing that it could potentially break this upswing trend line and then finally break to the upside. If it does start breaking this 45.69 level, then all of a sudden we're opening the gates to this low pivot area right in this section of the charts. Not only do you have these high pivots here, but the red bar candle, price consolidation, and then these low pivots in the area at 43.74. So again, this is your first short-term buy level. What you would do is you would actually wait for price to hit this level, and then you could look to exit the trade once it hits this downsloping trend line. What we'd want to wait for, if you're going to continue to hold this, is a breakout above this downsloping trend line, confirm, and then retrace. As long as it stays above 45.69, then the price action of gold could go higher. However, this is pretty much the line in the sand that I'm watching for. If it does break, then you're heading down to 43.74. Overall, longer term outlook on the price action of gold. This low pivot area around $39,000 or $4,000 is going to be your next major support level. So if these 2 levels do fail, then you're looking at these low pivots right here at the price of $4,000 or appears to $4,000 on gold. Let's go ahead and go into Palladium. I'm going to go over platinum next. So here's the price action of Palladium. Pivot top here, kissed here, secondary hit, third hit. Look at all of this price consolidation. Now, on a technical basis, the more often a downsloping trend line gets hit underneath, the more it favors a move to the upside. It did finally break out above this level here. However, what it didn't do was take out this pivot top here and or confirm above this broken downsloping trend line, which means that this is the same thing that could happen with gold. Its price could tag this level, but with this level of resistance, you could see a further sell-off. So what I'm looking at in the chart of Palladium is this gap right here at $1,455. So this is a good spot to pick up Palladium if you're a short-term bull. If it fails that level, so this would be more of a day trade. So if you're interested in day trading Palladium, this would be your buy level. For me, I would actually be waiting for this high pivot point here, low pivot in the charts, and this $1,349 level. This is going to be a ton of support in this area on the chart of Palladium. And that for me is my buy level for a swing. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the dead set low. What I've got to do is always monitor where the next price action could go to. And so I got to identify additional levels. Here, right, is a low bottom pivot, pivot top, price consolidated right on top of it. As you can see, this was previous resistance. Got above it, confirmed above, retraced, did pierce it, but never closed back below. And so now we retested it. Retested it here. So once price action does get down to $1,254, that is going to be a solid add level to the position, knowing that there is additional support at $1,000 and basically $1,095. On the upside, If this down sloping trend line does get broken to the upside and confirms, you could play this on a potential retrace and look for an upside move to this underbelly of this upsloping trend line. All right, platinum. I'd mentioned platinum. So similar price action. All these commodities are kind of doing similar price action, or they have similar price action. The only difference right now is platinum has this down sloping trend line, pivot top here, secondary hit, third hit, fourth hit, finally broke out, confirmed right here. So on a technical basis, because it confirmed above this level, even though it's getting a little bit of a bid to the downside, these are your entry points for platinum. Now, if it does recapture this downsloping trend line to the underside, then you're looking at buying on this upsloping trend line. I'm going to have to zoom out in the charts to show you where this upsloping trend line comes from. You got this pivot top here from the highs of August 30th, 2017. Secondary pivot right here on the chart. Let me go ahead and hide this real quick. Okay, the 20th February highs of 2021. So when price action does break back into that level, you should get a lot of buyers to step up, as they've done previously in the past. So that's where an additional buy level could be. Or if you exit on a pierce or a close back below this downsloping trend line, then you would re-enter it at this upsloping trend line. Next level support below that is going to be right here at this double top at around 1713. And then you have another level of support at 1346. So short term, I'm a little bit more bullish on this chart because of the broken down sloping trend line. Price action would have to confirm back below this down sloping trend line. And at that point, if it fails this, then I'm no longer a bull, and then I'm a bear. And then I would anticipate a further move to the downside. My upside target on platinum would be right here at 2434. That's where I think the upside could go if this breakout continues and pushes to the upside. Could actually be putting in a shoulder head, and if it drops low enough but doesn't take out this low pivot, could be putting in another shoulder, and you could see another move up. All right, let's go ahead and Palladium. I guess I'm going to do Palladium again. No, I'm not. Natural gas. So it looks like I'm going to do 4 charts. So natural gas, NG1, pivot top here, secondary hit, third hit, fourth hit, finally broke above, has not confirmed above this downsloping trend line. Right here at $2.62, this is going to be your support level on natural gas. We've already closed below this level one time. We've gotten saved, put in this nice bear flag, and has fallen again. I still like this level at $2.62 for a long level on natural gas, with a potential upside to at least this low pivot point right here at 282. And then if it does break above that, natural gas can take this huge run to the upside. And look, even if we went up to this high pivot point right here, that'd be a 16% move. And if you, I don't know what happened there. If you zoom out in the charts, look at where natural gas came from. Natural gas came all the way from $7.42 all the way down here. So you're down 65%. Does that mean that it can't go lower? No, absolutely not. What it could tell you is that price action could get down to $2.30. So if this does fail, if we do get a close below $2.62 on a daily closing basis, and it confirms back below this downsloping trend line, then your next downside move is all the way to this gap in the charts at $2.30. So that's what I have for you guys. Let's open this up, go and see what's going on. Silver. Let's go over silver real quick. Actually, I'll give you one more chart. Here's this downsloping trend line on silver. Pivot top here, secondary. This was more of a kiss, right? But if we draw this trend line here, we got this downsloping trend line, resistance, 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 hit it, confirmed above, retraced to the scene of the crime, and then broke out. So I still am short-term bearish on silver, just barely though. I do think that it's going to recapture this 73.54 level. And then my next upside target or downside target is this upsloping trend line. Pivot low here, kissed it here, secondary hit, third hit this thing perfectly right into a ton of support, and then got a bounce, which tells me that once we break this 73.54 to the downside, that is where your next upside target is going to be, or excuse me, downside target would be. And that's sitting right above 65.085 on the chart of silver. Now, if we can break up again, if we can take out this green bar candle, this gap in the charts at 81,905, this is what I'd be watching for. Then we could potentially go up to 87,020. And then once we break out above that, then 96,270. So just because it has broken out and it's starting to head higher doesn't always necessarily mean that you're going to be bullish the entire time. That just means that it retraces the scene of the crime, got a nice 15 to 17% move to the upside. That breakout could have already been played out, and now we're coming back into the support. Notice how many times this support level was hit. So oftentimes what happens is support hits over and over again, and then that favors a pullback or a continued move to the downside. So those are my levels. If it does drop below 65,085, look at 61,080. And then eventually, for me, once it breaks this upswing trend line right here, we're coming back to 53.25. Actually, I'm eyeing the top right here around 54 an ounce on the chart of silver. Okay, that's what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys are getting something out of this, please make sure you're liking, you're following, subscribing, and sharing with those friends so that way they can get the same market information that you're getting. And we have other channels as well. Verified Investing Extras. Gareth Soloway is actually going live on Market Mavericks on that channel. And so if you guys missed that, go back and rewatch that video, because they're going to have a lot of insights that you may not be missing, or that you'd be missing if you're not following our channel. So that's what I have for you guys. You guys have a great rest of your day. And again, my name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at verifiedinvesting.com. And we'll see you guys next time in the charts. You guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.